What's going on everyone? Welcome back to Vintage Cars Ireland, and today I'm going to be covering the process and the total cost of restoring my Mazda MX-5. So if you want to see it go from this to this, make sure to stick around and to watch to the end on how I did it. I bought the car originally for around €3,500, but it came with a spare folding roof and wheels, so I sold both of these and this brought the total back down to about €2,750. If you're not from Ireland, you can convert the cost yourself on Google very quickly if you want a better idea of the currency difference. Now, the first job that I decided to do was to tackle the rust. I owned and I enjoyed the car for about a year. Unfortunately though, I had a special occasion coming up in the summer and I decided that I wanted the car to look a little bit more pristine. So as you might have seen at the beginning of the video, the rear quarters were quite rusty, so this is the first job that I decided to tackle. These cost me about €210 for both sides, which actually wasn't too bad. We did all the work ourselves because I was quoted about €2,000 if I outsourced the work per quarter. So this would have cost about €4,000 before taking on any other work with the car, and this would have cost nearly double the value of the car itself. Here Tig is making sure that the curved suits our new rear quarters before welding it all up. This all had to be fabricated from scratch and took up quite a bit of time. There was a lot of cutting and marking to do, and quite a bit of more rust than I had anticipated behind those rear quarters when we removed them. That added on a lot more work than what I was expecting, so Tig was dealing with the inner quarters and I was cleaning down the rest of the rust. It certainly saved me, as I don't have any experience in welding and probably would have ruined the car if I tried to do it myself. The metal was free as we used material from scrap cars that we had lying around the yard. Now, I do know not everyone will be able to do this kind of work, but I think it's good to show that the level of work that's required if you are considering buying a car with rust coming through it. The total now stands at about €2,960, which is still very cheap for one of these cars. Welding in the rear quarters is a really lengthy process. You need to weld it in stages so that you don't warp the panel. While this was going on, I moved on to the opposite side and began marking it out and cutting it all up. So just for a few minutes, I'm going to let you watch the work that's involved with welding up the rear quarters. It was genuinely really amazing to see the car shaping up again and not all cut up. The next cost was the tiled Street Advanced coilovers, which I actually got for around €500. The guy that sold me the car actually had these brand new lying around and sold them to me for €250 cheaper than retail price. Not only that, they have really transformed the feel of the car as well. Next up was the painting process, which went on for months. Trying to get the shape 100% right in the rear quarters was an absolute nightmare. It did take weeks of work, but this isn't my full-time job, so this was only kind of a couple of hours a day here and there. The cost for the paint came in at around €350, which included primer, paint, thinners and hardener, which you all need to mix all together, and I actually have that in the previous video. I'm not actually 100% happy with the end result of the paint, so I will be revisiting it in the future, but it certainly looked 1,000 times better than what it did previously. Next was the JR7 wheels. Enkoi are very difficult to get in Ireland and a lot more expensive, so I settled for these ones, and with tyres cost me about €900. Next up was the brake system. I replaced all the calipers and pads for €240 from BOFI Racing. They were certainly needed as the old ones were completely seized. The radiator was the final part that I replaced and cost about €140. And here's the end result. The total cost of €5,090 and a lot of work for a fully restored Mazda MX-5. If you have any questions about this project, make sure to leave a comment, and if you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe. See you all in the next video.